What do we got next? Add and subtract within 1,000. It is the dreaded word problems. Let's go. Now, again, because these are word problems, I'm actually going to slow down because I know that quote-unquote word problems, even though, let's face it, pretty much all of the problems we've been doing are word problems, right? All of the instructions are in words, but I know that folks tend to get really antsy around word problems, so we're going to slow down, and I'm going to take you step by step through every single piece of my thought process when it comes to this. Now, it says here that Milan has collected 363 shells so far. It says he wants to collect 581 shells in all. How many more shells does Milan want? Now, the big question we have to ask ourselves here before we do any math is this an addition problem or is this a subtraction problem? And when you see the word more, this word right here, how many more shells? That word more often means adding. Right? If I eat 2 pieces of pizza and then I eat 3 more, that is an addition problem. However, the way the sentence is constructed is actually very similar to how an equation is constructed. But when they say how many more shells, that means that they want to know the leftover amount. How many empty places are there in Milan's shell collection? He wants 581 minus the 363 he's already got. 581 minus the 363 he's already got. I hope that makes sense. Because again, that word more is a very confusing word to use, but that's the way language is sometimes, unfortunately. Let's see. What weird way do I want to do this? Let's just look at 81 minus 63 first, because I know that 500 minus 300 is 200, yeah? So 81 minus 63, Well, I know that 63 plus 8 is 71, so I believe it turns into 18. Yeah? 63 plus 8 is 71, plus another 10 is 81. I think the answer is 218. Sorry if the dotted line that I put down the middle there was confusing. I believe that Milan wants 218 more shells. Very good. Aria played 2 strings on her guitar. The first string waved 330 times, so the strings go back and forth really fast. That's how guitar strings work. And the other one waved 257 more times than the first string. And I love this is serendipitous because again, we have this word more, but because the word more is given in our information and not in the question, we're not asked how many more, we are told how many more and asked to find a new total, right? The first string waved 330 times. The second waved that many times, 330, and another 257. Please get in the habit of speaking in both regular or in talking about math in regular, ordinary human being language, whatever language it is that you speak and learn math in. It is very important to not section it off away from language arts and the humanities. They are very, very, very much intertwined, as I keep saying over and over and over again on this channel. That looks like 687 is going to be the number of times that the second string waved. Welcome to my show where I go on mini rants all the time. 687, I hope I remember that right. I didn't remember it right. 587. Curse me. Well, it happens sometimes. I get distracted. I mess up. It's no problem. We're going to move ahead. We'll make up for it in the quiz later on. The question is, how many fewer steps does Maya take than Chris? Chris has 583, Maya has 567. Again, the 500s make 0, right? 500 minus 500 is 0. So we're only interested in 67 and 83. Well, let's see, 67, 68, 69, 80, or 70, 71, 72, 73, that's 6, and then another 10, so the answer should be 16. Man, you do get thrown off. Like, again, even I, as a professional educator, get thrown off when I get an answer wrong that I wasn't expecting to get wrong. Either because, and I'll have to go back and look at the footage, I don't know if I just misremembered it or if I did the subtraction wrong, and I will take a look at that footage and I will put it up unedited in its entirety, because again, mistakes are part of learning, and if I can't admit to my mistakes, I certainly can't expect you to be comfortable admitting to yours. We've got some recycling materials. How many kilograms of paper and aluminum did Aya recycle? And is usually plus. Again, I keep having to couch these words like in, I keep having to qualify this because it's not always, right? And usually means plus. In this case, it definitely does. So we have 277 of paper. And we have 134 of aluminum. We'll run through this. 7 and 4 is 11. We'll take that group of 10 and make a 10 out of it. 7 and 3 is 10 and 1 is 11. We'll take 10 tens and make 100. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 hundreds in total. There are 411 kilograms total of both paper and aluminum. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. It looks like what we got next is quiz 4. Let's do it. What number makes this equation true? 808 minus. So again, what we're really doing is we are taking 808 and we are subtracting 327. And that's not so bad. Again, we can section it off into 2 problems. 8 minus 7 is 1. And 80 minus 32, if you see it, if you pretend that this 8 and the 7 aren't here for a second, we already dealt with those. 80 minus 32, well, 80 minus 30 is 50, minus another 2 is 49, 48. So 481 is my answer here. Man, my handwriting just gets worse and worse. 481. There are 461 homes in the part of town where Samir lives. He counted that 352 of them are apartments. So to find out how many of them are not apartments, we will have to subtract. We want to take the total number of homes, 461, and we will need to subtract the 352 that he already knows are apartments, and we'll go from there. 61 minus 52, again, I'm going to section this off. Let's go ahead and use red so that it doesn't get confusing. 61 minus 52 I can do on my fingers. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Maybe not the most efficient way of doing it, but it's 9. And I know that 400 minus 300 is 100. So the total number of houses that are not apartments is 109. What number makes this equation true? Well, again, I noticed that it is very, very close to 400. If I take 706 and subtract 400, I get 306, but I subtracted too many. I subtracted 7 too many. So instead of 306, I should add 7 to get 313. And again, if I am ever unsure, like I just did that subtraction really quick in my head, I'm not confident in it, you can just go ahead and check your answer by doing the addition, right? Hey Google, what's 313 plus 393?
The answer is 706.
Just making sure. Sorry if I made your phone talk at you. Yes, I do encourage using calculators to check your work. I also encourage using calculators when it is practical to do so. But in 3rd and 4th grade, it is important to be able to understand the numbers and the patterns behind the numbers and why addition and subtraction and multiplication and division work the way they do before you export that work to a machine. Make sure they have understanding first, then the calculator. Frida used 168 beads to make a necklace. Then she made another necklace with the same number of beads, so that's 168 plus 168. So let's see, how would I do that? Well, I know that 170 and 170 is 340 because 17 and 17 is 34. That's just, again, the way my mind works. I've overcounted by 4, right, because each 170 is actually 168. So 340 minus 4, 339, 338, 337, 336. Use those fingers. That's what they're for. All right, we are subtracting 150, which gives us 604, but we subtracted by 2 too many. So instead of 604, we're going to have 606. And that is quiz 4.